Hi all. Excuse for the mess. Oh Lord. Look at me. Anyways, excuse for the mess and excuse the fact that I am videoing in my car because the kids are in the house, is loud, and my dad's in there fixing stuff. It's loud. But today is just gonna be a general update, or not even an update, like an explanation of what I have and why it's so debilitating and how I incurred it and all that, to answer some questions. A lot of people don't really understand what I'm going through, and they don't really know why it's as bad as it is. I was born with asthma. My mom smoked while she was pregnant with me, and it turned out that I got asthma. I played sports. I was into basketball, really heavily into basketball. I did everything every other little girl does. And then when I turned 15 years old, I was having a sleepover with my friend, and I told my dad I can't breathe. Like, this is different than any other asthma attack. I can't breathe. The first time I told him that, I think I was 13, and he thought I was like making it up so that I didn't have to go to school, because they told him by the age of 12 I should outgrow it. Well, he came home from work and found me laying on the air vent trying to get air because I was so lethargic and couldn't breathe. So he rushed me to the hospital. When I turned 15 years old, I told him I can't breathe, something's not right, I don't know what's going on. At that time, they told me my lung collapsed. My left lung had collapsed completely. Thankfully, since I had no blood in my chest, I did not have to have a chest tube. They just waited for it to reinflate on its own. And then, I had asthma attacks on and off forever. And then in the year 2014, I thought I was having just another asthma attack, and at that time I could usually gauge of when it's bad enough to go, I'll go, and when I'm able to fight it. I was taking my nebulizers, I was taking my inhalers, I was doing it all, and it did not work. So by this time I said, it's time to go. I made my kids get ready. I made them put their shoes on, and they grabbed their coats, and we just rushed out the door, and I prayed before I drove off to at least let me make it to the hospital, which at this time was only 5 minutes down the road. I made it to the hospital. I was able to walk myself into the door, at which point I collapsed. I was still alert, I was still awake, I knew what was going on around me. They got me into the room, they tried to put the oxygen on my face, and I pushed it away. Then they came at me with the breathing treatment, which is what I wanted, so when I grabbed for it, at that point I went into cardiac arrest. My lungs completely failed on me. I was put on an intubator, I was ventilated for 3 days, and then they took me off. This happened 7 more times. The third time, the guy pulled the tube out too fast, put my body into shock. I went into cardiac arrest again. My mom told me that he just shoved the tube back down, not even like knowing where it was going or what he was doing. He just panicked and shoved the tube back down. My whole body jumped, and ever since then I've got these spasms on the left side of my chest that go all the way up and into my back. The most that I can do nowadays is probably, I don't know if you can see it, but back there is the mailbox. I could probably walk to there and back and need to be on my machine. I have 4 kids. Before all this happened, I was taking them to the park. We were doing everything together. And now, as a mother, I feel like I've let my kids down. Like, I have to stay with my dad in order for them to be properly cared for, because if they were to stay with me and something happened to me, then what would happen to them, you know? And I've got an autistic son that has ADHD, and I have an ADHD son who has personality something where he gets angry really fast. You know, it's a lot to handle for my dad, and I feel bad that I'm this burden on him. I do the best I can. I don't ever like to be looked at as lazy, because if I could get... I was a nurse before this happened to me. I went from having absolutely no... I went through the 12th grade, and I was pregnant. So at the 12th grade, I lost a few credits because I was giving birth to my daughter. So I did not get to walk. But I went back to school, and then I found out I was pregnant with my son, and so I just quit altogether. When I moved to Tennessee, I worked so hard. There was ladies in my school that had been there for 5 years trying to get their GED. I was there for 3 months, got my GED. 2 months later, I went and got my CNA. I was working towards my LPN, and I was going to become a nurse and do exactly what I wanted to do. My dream was to be a nurse in the military, in the Air Force. My dad was a cop in the Air Force, and I wanted to follow his footsteps, just twerk him a little bit, tweak him a little bit. I wanted to be a nurse, he was a cop. And then all my dreams crashed, and I am now living at my dad's house. I pay my dues. He doesn't pay for everything that I have to have or need or any of that. But I was just letting y'all know the backstory of me. Why I'm even on here letting y'all know that I'm in the hospital. Why I'm even on here letting y'all know, what's going on with me health-wise today and all this other stuff. I did not have to go to the hospital yesterday. I'm hoping I don't have to go today. I'm still kind of feeling a little woozy. Not myself. This will be 1 month since I've been in the hospital, which is good for me. Let's just say. I really appreciate the ones that ask about me. I stole my dad's shirt. You like it? You don't like it? Because he's not getting it back. I will try to keep y'all posted more. I just haven't felt good enough to get on here and let y'all know what's going on. I'm going to try and do some different things on my channel to keep it more interesting, so it's not just, oh, this is how I'm feeling today. And I'm going to try and give y'all, symptoms and things to look out for, just in case you have kids that are or were my age, and you don't know the symptoms of some of the things that could happen that could possibly really go wrong. I would love, you could reach out to me at any time. I would love to be of help to every one of y'all. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you for caring. Thank you for even taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. It means a lot to me. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I appreciate my dad. Hopefully, one day I'll be strong enough to where this will just be a story I tell, instead of this is my life, But if I happen to succumb to this, then maybe these little vlogs and diaries or whatever, my kids will have to look back on and can see how strong their mom was and how hard she fought for them, But I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for watching, and